What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Tony Delerme, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of TD Hip Hop Radio, where I bring you nothing but the hottest hip hop that you won't hear on the commercial radio. And on today's show, man, I got a very special guest by the name of Blackout Garrison. A couple weeks ago, I showcased his EP "Hungry Soulful" on the radio show, and it was pretty dope. If you haven't listened to that yet, be sure to hit up the archives to check that out. And let's get into this joint with him right now, man. Blackout, how you doing, brother?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. And yourself?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm glad to hear from you. Hey, tell the people where you from for those who might not know.
Yeah, man. My name is Blackout Garrison. I'm a hip hop artist from here in Minnesota, a small town called Brooklyn Park. It's like they consider it a suburb of Minneapolis, but it's just a small town, and I've been doing music for about I'm 22 now, and I started rapping at the age of like 12, and I took it serious around 15. So and I've been doing music here in the city. I won an award for Lyricist of the Year in 2013 for the TCUMAs.
Mm.
And I've been doing a lot here, man, in the city. And I took some time off, just to like perfect my craft and try to make sure my sound is where it's supposed to be, and just because I'm a big perfectionist, so I just took some time off for about 3 or 4 years, and I just to craft this project just to make it suitable for the people. So,
For sure, man. Hey, what's the rap scene like in Minnesota?
well, it's pretty slept on to me, in my opinion. But I think now, things is like it's starting. People are starting to come around, and more doors are opening, and they're paying more attention, and artists are bringing more attention and more light to the city. So, it's growing and progressing and things like that, and people are starting to, come together and collab and things of that nature, and there's a lot going on in the city, and I feel like it's starting to get in a better place as of now, to be honest.
Would you guys have like you could say like a specific kind of sound? Like I give you kind of reference point. Like I'm from Chicago, and
Right.
back in the day, a couple years back, you could say before the drill movement started, Chicago kind of had more of more of the artists coming out of there were kind of on the conscious tip. You had dudes like Kanye and Common, and they were just coming out with just music that had a message behind it, and that had just
Right.
something solid behind it. Now the rap scene in Chicago has changed to where it's just more of the hard drill, gangster music. So is there a specific sound in Minnesota?
To be honest, I think it's kind of spread it out. Like I think every individual and crew and artist, I think they just go off of whatever that they're inspired by, and um but one of the biggest labels from Minnesota is Rhyme Sayers Entertainment, and they would do like this showcase every year called Soundset, and their label, a lot of their art, I guess like people would consider a lot of their artists as conscious artists, but um you know uh, I just feel that every artist and an individual from here, they do what they feel. You know what I mean? Like but I don't think that it's one specific sound. I just think it's just kind of like whatever this artist is into. You know what I mean?
Would you consider yourself a conscious artist? Because I'm listening to your music, I don't really hear too much. You could say what I call like nonsense music. It's music about nothing. You tend to have at least some sort of a solid foundation to all your music. So would you look at yourself as a conscious artist?
I mean, I think that's the box that they put me in. But to be honest, I don't consider myself as a conscious artist. I just speak on like real life issues and just my life and what I see going on. My insecurities, my problems, my just my story as a whole. And I just pick up inspiration from different varieties of things. Just sometimes I can vibe off how I feel, a certain day, or was just when I listen to a beat or cut a beat on, I just let the beat speak to me, and I just pick up inspiration from there. But I wouldn't consider myself a conscious artist, but I know like that's the box that they put me in. But I try to stray away from that title as much as possible. But it's that's just I think it's always gonna be there though, because if you not speaking on the norm, you know what I mean? And that's what they're gonna label you as. So,
Word. Hey, so break down for the people also, man. What is Hungry Soulful? What's the meaning behind that title?
oh well, Hungry Soulful. Um, it started as an idea I had. It just kind of came to me one day. I was working on the music, and I just like I said, I just took some time just to really craft this project because I really wanted to make this like a time capsule of the things that I was going through and the things that I was seeing because my I like when I started doing music before and I was kind of just you got to start from somewhere, you know what I mean? And I was like at a point in time just trying to find myself, and and I was just kind of like just taking from other cats and things like that, and I like and I really sat down, and I'm like, man, I want to really stand for something, you know what I mean? And I want to really, I want to get a world me, you know what I mean? So um, but yeah, basically the idea for Hungry Soulful it came from me working on the music that I was working on, and it came to me naturally, and I decided, well, I mean this is nothing new because artists have done it before where they took like food, like just made food references in they as they song titles and in they songs. So I basically I did that just to kind of like just to kind of like catch people's attention and things of that nature. So I just built off of that idea, and that's how Hungry Soulful came about.
Word. Now, in Hungry Soulful, you make quite a few references to God and religion throughout the EP, man. How important is that to you?
It's very important. Like I'm not any religion, but it's very important. I believe in something greater, and I believe in I believe there is a higher power. So anytime I get to showcase that in my music, I do, and because it's like we live in a world where there's a lot of negativity and there's a lot of positivity as well. So, through all of that, I just feel, like just believing in something higher, no matter what type of guys you believe in, it just makes you a stronger and better person, through times through trying times, in which these are trying times now. Just like for an example, we have that's going on here in the city, Justice for Shamar, and things like that, and it's just trying times for the world, and um, so any chance I get, I just put that, I just try to showcase that, just so people can feed off of that, and hopefully it makes their day better. You know what I mean?
Word. Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, "Bite the Bullet" is the first song on the EP, and at
Right,
the very end of that song, there's a woman who's she's speaking some real powerful words in terms of or as far as temptation is concerned. Who was that speaking at the
right.
end?
That was my grandma, and that was actually that clip actually came from a real situation that happened. Like I said, just basically just doing the recording of Hungry Soulful, I was going through a real dark period of my life, and just it was a real dark period, and I was just taking from everything that was going on and just placing that in the music because that's really all I have, you know what I mean? Like like hip hop raised me, and hip hop is like my teacher, you know what I mean? Just music in general, not just hip hop, but that clip came from a real situation, and I just decided, I'm like, well, because I recorded it on my phone, and I'm like, I had listened back to it, and I was like, wow, like this would really, I want to like put this in one of my songs, but I just didn't know what. So when I did like the bullet, I was like, man, this will fit perfect. Just like this will really set the bar for the song. And I think, um, without that, the song wouldn't have been what it was. You know what I mean? And that actually, Bite the Bullet, caught the attention of it's a company. I think it's a company out of LA. I think they started doing music videos at first, but I think now they're doing like blog posts, and they have like a whole website now, and it's called Black Diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
and that recently, like the bullet caught the attention of them, and they posted on their website and their YouTube and stuff like that. So the record is doing pretty good. But yeah, that's actually one of my personal favorites off the EP. That and Children of the Cornbread interlude,
Yeah, man, I
just
definitely.
because
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're right.
No, I was just gonna say, man, just kind of highlighting on what you're saying. I definitely feel that, just really the knowledge that you was spitting at the end to bite the bullet really set the tone for the whole EP. You know what I'm saying? Like once you said what
Right,
you said, it kind of really put you in the right mind space to listen to it and really focus in on then your lyrics. You get what I'm saying? So it really highlighted and elevated the EP a lot further than I think it would have.
right. Yeah, yeah.
That's what's up. Hey,
Most definitely.
there's also a skit on there on your EP too that I thought was very interesting where there's just some chick that was talking and she's talking slick and she basically said I don't know why Blackout Garrison is still rapping, he needs to just give it
Yeah.
up. He's not that good anyway, yada yada yada. How real is that like in your life and how hard is it to kind of overcome that kind of, that kind of negativity and just keep it going with the rapping?
Well, like I said, I've been doing music for a long time, and like just basically like selling mixtapes around high school, and just posting up at gas stations, selling mixtapes, and just had gone to the malls and selling mixtapes as well, and just trying to for years and years, just trying to like stretch my name and get my name heard, and it just basically like I just like I've actually seen people throw my CDs in the garbage and like
Mm.
and just throw them on the ground and and things of that nature and so I've dealt with like it's like it's kind of like the typical story with every artist. Like every artist has dealt with like people just not really caring about their craft and not trying to show them any love or like pay, just trying to ignore what this artist is doing and what this person is doing. Um, so when I did like that was actually me doing that on the record,
Mm.
and I just and I that actually it came from a real place, like because I've actually dealt with things like that, but I just, to be honest, like it's really you have no choice but really just to like just keep showing them and just like try to just stay in their face. You know what I mean? And who if it's meant for them to come around and you know what I mean and listen to what you have to say, because I believe every no matter what the message is that the artist is pushing, every artist has something to say. You know what I mean? So I feel that like if it's meant for this person to come around or that person to come around to what you're doing and and try and and make them and you can possibly make them a believer of what you're doing, then I mean I think you're doing something right, because I it's always going to be you know you're going to have people that not like what you do and you're going to have people that like what you do. And just basically what keeps me pushing is just like when people tell me how they feel about my music. Like for an example, I had this one guy, I think he was from like Cleveland or something like that. He hit me up online and he told me that like my first project, which is titled Dreams and Thoughts, he told me that that my project helped him like not buy crack
Mm.
before. And yeah, he told me like he was he was sitting in the car and he was at a light and he saw one of his old dealers and he was like he basically had like the urge to pull him to the side and and he said he was listening to my music and it really just helped him. It kind of calmed him down. I'm like, wow, that's so things like that. Just when like just it can be little things like because all those little things count like to keep me pushing. You know what I mean?
Word, word. And something else that's very interesting, man. I feel like this year in 2015, there was like two kind of key turning points in hip hop, and I really wanted to get your perspective on it. You know, and
Right,
the two things were, you could say, on authenticity and writing your own rhymes. With the whole Slim Jesus thing, when he came out originally, he was on that drill music type shit. But then when his Vlad
right,
TV interview came out, you find out that he really isn't with the shits at all. He's not even from that environment. And then you also
right.
had prior to that the Drake Meek Mill situation, where essentially, I mean, I personally I call a spade a spade. Drake had a ghostwriter. You know. And
Right.
essentially, it seems like nobody cared, on both stages. Nobody cared that Drake had a ghostwriter and is the hottest rapper in the game, and then nobody cared that this dude Slim Jesus is coming out and he's not, really about that life at all, but he's rapping about it. Like, how do you feel about those two,
Right.
like, situations? Like, what's your take and your stand on that?
Well, what I can say is, I mean, the music is changing. You know what I mean? It's just a time period where, like, you know, um, I don't think like a lot of those things really matter as much as they used to. You know what I mean? And it's like it's just a time period where like um, they're like the industry and things of that nature. They're just allowing it to happen, and you know what I mean, which is I mean I guess it's fine, like because you know what I'm saying, like it's just music, you know what I mean, like because there's so we've been told there's artists now in the industry that don't, that's not living that life either. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
they're putting that message out to the kids, like, yeah, I'm out here doing this and doing that, and they not living that as well. So it's just like now, it's like with the Slim Jesus situation, it's like he's actually admitting to not being out here living that life. You know what I mean? Which in my opinion, could be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. But it's just different times in hip hop. And as far as like the ghostwriter situation, that's been going on for years as well. Like, everybody, somebody gets help in the studio with a hook or a verse or whatever it is that, which I feel isn't a problem either. You know what I'm saying? It's just that if somebody's just writing for you, you know what I mean, that could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Because like, once people find out about it, then especially if you put up there with the greats, you know what I mean, and people find out about that, then it could be a problem, because they'll take you out of that list. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I see people are trying to do with Drake as well. But he's a hit maker. He's an instant hit maker. So I honestly think it don't really take nothing from him, to be honest.
Mm. That's interesting. So for you, because I've had this debate with a couple other people, right? And
Right.
for me, like you just said, like to be honest, at the end of the day, you say with like a Drake, right? He's still a great
Right.
artist. He's still a dope artist. You can't take that away from him. He's still a legend, but or a future legend, I guess you can say. But
Right.
in my personal opinion, when we're talking about just greatest rappers of all time, and we're really breaking down these little top tens and all that kind of stuff, for me, he's disqualified. You feel me? Like
Right.
I can't put him out. He'll always be acknowledged. Like I said, you can't not acknowledge him. But he's kind of disqualified for me in terms of like greatest rappers of all time, top 10, and all that kind of stuff. So, but for you, not so much. So you can say
Um. As far as being like the top 10 list,
that's granted that you'd even put him in your top 10 list. But just in
yeah,
general, just
no, no,
as far as
yeah,
that
he's
conversation is
definitely in
concerned.
my top. Yeah, he's
Hmm.
definitely in my top 10. And um, I mean, it's like, okay, like let's say, okay, like if he didn't write records like what is it? Is it 5 a.m. and with
Oh yeah, 5 a.m. in Toronto.
yeah, if he like records like that, or like just records when he really like he just really spitting bars, and you know what I'm saying, and things like that. Then I could, if he didn't write records like that, I can understand like the like trap records, or you know what I mean, or the records he do as far, or like even the R&B records, you know what I mean. I
Hmm.
can understand like if he didn't write those, but like I mean if he yeah didn't write those, but like as far as the records with him just like really spitting and you know what I'm saying, and things like that, I couldn't put him in my top 10, like.
Right, right. I feel you.
But I was, but I'm just you know what I'm saying. I respect the craft. You know what I'm saying, as a whole. So I mean, whatever works for whatever works for that artist. You know what I mean? Like as long as it sounds good at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Right, I feel you.
And there's some truth behind what you're saying, you know.
Mm-hmm. But I could definitely get with that too, 'cause I hear a lot of people say that as well. At the end of the day, as long as the music is still banging, then just give me the damn music. you know,
Right, yeah,
for sure, for
right.
sure. Hey, Blackout man. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today, man. I had a
Oh,
really
yeah, no
good
problem,
time
man.
with the
Thanks for
interview.
having me.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
And let everybody know what the name of the EP is again and where they can find it at.
All right. The name of the EP is titled Hungry Soulful, and you can find that right now on SoundCloud for free. And my SoundCloud is just Blackout Garrison. That's Blackout with two C's, and last name Garrison. And you can find that on SoundCloud. Or if you just type my name in on Google, you can find it everywhere. But it's on my SoundCloud for free right now, and make sure you go get that, man. I think it's something that you'll enjoy over just during these times as well, and it's just a good project for you to vibe out to. So I think you definitely should go get that if you got some free time on your hands or whatever. Just press play on it.
For sure, that's what's up, man. Well, I'm your boy Tony Delerme, and thanks for listening to another episode of TD Hip Hop Radio, and I'm out.